Well, the Lady Statesmen host Union and Christian Brothers this week in two big games. Fresh off two wins on the road, a big one over Valdosta at Valdosta. And with that, we'll bring up Coach Craig Roden to talk about last week and talk about the week ahead for his Lady Statesmen.
Well, everything Coach Neighbor said about the trip is true. I mean, it's just a really tough trip. It's a draining trip on the coaches, the players. Coming back today, being the first day of class. I mean, we took yesterday. Obviously, we took yesterday off, and then we took today off too. We're going to lift a little bit today, but we took care of that. It is what it is. I mean, last week I sat here and I told you that we were getting ready to go into the gauntlet of our schedule over the next 3 weeks. And we survived the first week, the first third of the gauntlet. We survived that with 2 wins. This week is just as tough. I mean, you've got Union in here Thursday, and you've got probably one of the hottest playing teams in the league right now is Christian Brothers. They've won a couple of real big games here lately, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. Union got us in here last year. They got us 2 close ones last year. I think a 3-point game and a 6-point game. And they've got a really good inside player. They've got a couple of player of the year type candidates with Williams inside and Jada Smith back's having a great senior year for them. Our people we're going to have to just keep working. We've got to get better. Like I told you last week, we still got a big ceiling of improvement that we can do. And we've got to keep working at that. It's going to be tough, but this could be a really big week for us if we do our job. We picked up 2 wins on the road. I know it's the first time that we've ever swept that road trip since I've been at Delta, and you'd have to go back. I think maybe one of our West Georgia teams, maybe one of our West Alabama teams swept it one time, and that's how tough it is. I mean, Lee didn't get it this year, and Lee's picked number 1 in the conference, and they got a split on it. I mean, it's a tough swing. It really is, and for a lot of reasons. You got, probably the biggest one is you've got two pretty good programs. I mean, West Florida's struggling a little bit this year, but then they turned around, I thought they played well against us, and then they turned around and beat Mississippi College Saturday, got their first conference win, and then Valdosta, was 12-2 starting the weekend, and lost to Mississippi College and lost to us. So, I didn't think we were really very efficient offensively against starting with West Florida. I didn't think we were very efficient offensively. Into the third quarter, into the fourth quarter, I think Phillip told me after the game we went about 6 or 7 minutes and only gave up 1 point right there, and got the game where we could control it down the end. And then at Valdosta, they did a few things to us early, caused some problems, and I guess probably the best thing I could say is I kept looking at it and thinking, wow, we're not playing very well, but they couldn't pull away from us. We weren't playing extremely well. I'd look up and it was a 2-point game, it was a 4-point game, it was a 5-point game. And so, you feel like, okay, if we can get to half and we can make a couple of adjustments on some things, we can win this ball game, because a lot of times when you're playing like that, you go in at half and you're down 12, you're down 14, you're down 15, and on the road that's almost a kiss of death. And so we kept battling, and into the third quarter there, we had another one of those runs right there at the end of the third quarter. early in the fourth quarter where they didn't score a lot of points right there, and we Nia Johnson hit that big basket right at the end of the third quarter that put us up 9, and I thought we played as well down the stretch offensively as we've played at any time this year. We've had some times down the stretch in games that were, 12, 15-point games. I didn't think we played exceptionally well, but I thought we played really well, controlled the ball, made defensive stops, gave them one shot, got the ball, and just kind of maintained our lead. And the next thing you know, you're in a 2-minute game and you're still up 6 or 7, which is what you want to do when you've got a lead on the road. We talk about that all the time. When you get the lead, you just want to walk them out the end of the gym. That's our phrase on that. We call them Tommy points. We came up with some Tommy points in the fourth quarter of both games. Tommy Moore, our strength coach, has done a really good job, and I think we've got a little bounce left in our legs at the end of these games that some of these people don't have, and so we talk about, hey, we need some Tommy points now. We need to out-jump them, out-run them a little bit right here, and take advantage of that. So I thought we really did. We got some good Tommy points in the fourth quarter of both games.
So you guys won the third and fourth quarter in both the games. Talk about just becoming a second-half team, playing better as the game starts going, or is there something else going on?
No, a lot of times I think in that situation, you're on the road. You're going to get the other team's best shot early. I mean, they've got a game plan for you, and I think that they come at you with both barrels blazing, and they hit you with their game plan, and they're on top of what they're doing, and it takes you a little time to kind of fight through that. I mean, if you're not a dominant team, and we haven't proven yet that we're a dominant team, and anytime you go on the road, it's just tough. It's tough those first, any time on the road. And that's why I said at the Valdosta game, I felt pretty good because I didn't think we were playing great, and they had something to do with it. But by the same token, you look up there and you go, okay, if we can fix a couple of things, and adjust a little bit, they're not pulling away from us. And, we talked about in the halftime being in the Valdosta game, being the first 5 minutes of that second half was going to be very crucial. And I thought we did get the game under control going our way in that first 5 minutes.
So you guys don't have any player in the top 25, I believe, in minutes played. Talk about the depth of your team, and then is that also kind of the Tommy points that you're getting, is the fact that you don't have to overexert anyone throughout the game?
Well, and I think we've got people. I mean, it's not that I'm not big on trying to play 10 or 11 people. I mean, that's just not me. I mean, I'm an 8-player coach by nature, and I've always felt like that if you're trying to play 10 or 11, you've got your best players off the floor half the time, and that's not what we want. We want our best players on the floor the majority of the time. But as the season's gone on, some of these people have grown up and are playing better, and that's allowing our minutes to be I guess we're able to rest people for a longer period now. Instead of taking somebody out and giving them a 2-minute blow, we're able to keep them out maybe 4-5 minutes, and I think that's real big. And I think it's real big going down the stretch of the season. Not necessarily right now, but I think it pays dividends for you later in the year because, I mean, my feeling has always been there's just so many trips in a season that those legs can go up and down the floor. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that's huge. I think it's a testament to our strength and conditioning. I think it's a testament to our athletic training. I think our assistant coaches and then most of all our players. I mean, they're playing through all that stuff right now. But if we were in a situation where we had to play some people 35 minutes, and you can go back and look at some of the box scores. We've had people play 34, 35, 36 minutes. So it's not, I don't think we're doing that out of necessity. I think we're doing it because it's a benefit to us.
Overall, the way this team has performed on the road, and particularly just this last stretch, just you got to be pleased with the mental toughness that the girls have shown this point in the season.
Well, we're getting tougher. We're getting better. You know, the returning players from last year, their level of toughness is way above where it was at any time last year, and you know, but they want to do good, and they're working toward that, and you know, it's making my job, it's making the assistant coaches' jobs a lot easier because they are putting that out there this year.
Looking at the conference standings, y'all are one of 4 teams with 1 loss. Any of these, you know, Thursday, Saturday games, just how much of a big swing could that be? Because the way it is, you know, just 2 losses, and y'all could be, you know, out of the top 4, maybe flirting with 8, depending on how the things go. But
yeah, I mean, that's, I don't know, you know, that's looking ahead, and like I said, we tried not to look ahead last week. I mean, we talked to the girls about going to hit the gauntlet of the schedule, and we kind of left it at that. And you know, if you look ahead, with Union Christian Brothers coming in, you could have some problems. You know, I think Valdosta, it was was mentioned down there that they thought they were looking ahead Thursday night when they lost to Mississippi College to us. They were looking ahead to us, and you know, you can't do that. The Gulf South just not it's not a forgiving league when you do things like that.
Good.